Hi, I'm Dwayne Brown. Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, President Obama takes a hard line on military sexual abuse. A busy day along the San Diego port downtown. Not one, not two, but three huge cruise ships pulling in for a visit. And San Diego Airport gets a new state-of-the-art baggage system said to be faster and more secure.
I'm Amita Sharma in for Peggy Pico. State leaders are promising more money for education, but how much is in the pipeline for San Diego? And we'll get some perspective on the state Supreme Court's decision saying cities can regulate medical marijuana dispensaries.
Talia, you look gorgeous. So pretty.
And helping girls get ready for the prom without breaking the bank. A look at the Princess Project. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Erwin Jacobs and by
Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining us. President Obama calls it a betrayal, and the Commandant of the Marine Corps calls a new Pentagon report shameful. It says 26,000 military personnel may have been sexually assaulted last year, despite new oversight and programs to help victims. The Marine Corps' General James Amos told Congress today 10% of all female Marines could experience some form of sexual assault or harassment, and he apologized for what he called shameful behavior. Lawyers for Colorado shooting suspect James Holmes says he will plead not guilty by reason of insanity. The San Diego native faces more than 160 counts of murder and attempted murder for killing 12 people and injuring 70 others in a movie theater last summer. A judge has to approve the plea. He'll hear the case next week. Police in Cleveland are combing through a house where three missing women were found alive last night. Police say they had been held captive there for years. Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and Michelle Knight were in their teens or early 20s when they vanished between 2002 and 2004. Three brothers are now in custody accused of kidnapping the women. One of them was a school bus driver who was once investigated. Police say they went to the house but never inside. They're now doing an internal investigation of their handling of missing persons cases. San Diego home prices are on the rise, and a realtors group says they're at the highest level they've been in 5 years. KPBS reporter Haley Persinger joins us from the news center with some details. So, how much are home prices going up?
Well, in terms of percentages, the median price for a single-family home rose 4% in 1 month alone and 23% in a year. To put that in a little bit more context, the median price for single-family homes a year ago was around $365,000. Last month, though, it hit $450,000, which is a huge jump. Condos and townhomes got a little bit more expensive, too. Their median prices jumped by about 37% since last year around this time.
And, Haley, what are agents saying this means for the market?
Well, I spoke with Linda Lee of the San Diego Association of Realtors. She said this is really a turning point for the market. A lot of people have been hesitant to say that the market is poised for a comeback, but Lee said that at this point it's a pretty safe thing to assume.
KPBS reporter Haley Persinger. A rare sight in San Diego, along San Diego Bay today. Three cruise ships in port all at once. KPBS reporter Susan Murphy shows us how the region's once faltering cruise industry is making a comeback.
5,500 tourists on three massive cruise ships arrived to downtown San Diego all within a few hours of each other. Two of the vessels, the Celebrity Solstice and the Oceana Regatta, are making their inaugural visits. Holland America Line's Zwieterdam has been here before. The Port of San Diego estimates each cruise ship that visits for the day brings in approximately $250,000 to $350,000 from retail and attraction spending. Vessels that begin and end their voyage in San Diego boost the economy by nearly $2 million. Adam Deaton, the port's cruise marketing representative, says San Diego's cruise business declined 70% since 2008 because of the poor economy and violence in Mexico, but he anticipates the industry will recover.
We're thinking by about 2015, 2016, the numbers will start to climb again slowly, and by 17, 18, it'll start to jump. Typically, this business goes in big spurts. So back in 2007, we gained about 300,000 passengers in a matter of 2 years, which can happen again.
Cruise ships are scheduled to make 77 stops in San Diego in 2013. Susan Murphy, KPBS News.
From cruising to flying, Terminal 2 at San Diego International Airport is now fully equipped with a new state-of-the-art baggage system designed to get your luggage to and from the plane faster and more efficiently.
Second bag is $75.
With nearly 17 million passengers and growing, San Diego International is on the tail end of a 4-year, $1 billion makeover at Terminal 2. It's the largest project in the airport's 80-year history, adding 10 new gates to reduce passenger waits, enhanced curbside check-in, and expanded dining and shopping areas. But the crowning jewel of this project may be something you won't see. The inner workings of the fully automated bag screening and explosive detection system.
It will process a bag from intake to ready to go to the plane in about 10 minutes.
This 1.5-mile conveyor system separates bags, screens them for explosives using one of these giant machines, then sends them on to be cleared or physically inspected. In this case, TSA is only looking for one thing: explosives, and not the salad dressing someone packed for the trip.
Not something we're looking for, but we see it, we have to take it out, we have to make sure that nothing in the bag is a threat item.
Even the screeners are being screened.
So all of these people working in this room are on camera all the time that they're in here. So if someone has a claim, if someone has an issue with their bag being open, we can go back to the video and we can look, see what happened when that bag came through the baggage screening system.
The new system also means less baggage handling and fewer injuries for workers, luggage getting into passengers' hands more quickly, and bragging rights for the airport authority.
It's a win for the airport because it makes us an airport that's right in the cutting edge of how to make the airport operate efficiently.
The new baggage screening and explosive system cost $35 million, with 90% of the cost paid for by the Department of Homeland Security. Medical marijuana dispensaries have been banned in about 200 California cities now, and more are expected to take action after a state Supreme Court decision this week allowing cities to ban or regulate them. Amita Sharma is looking at the implications of the ruling.
The California Supreme Court said this week that cities do have the power to control whether pot dispensaries exist through their zoning laws. But does the state high court's ruling do anything to resolve San Diego's longtime dilemma over how to regulate medical marijuana shops? Alex Crate used to head the city's medical marijuana task force and is a professor at Thomas Jefferson School of Law. He's here to offer some perspective on yesterday's ruling. Alex, how does yesterday's state Supreme Court ruling affect San Diego's attempts to create an ordinance that would allow these pot dispensaries to exist?
Well, I think it gives the San Diego City Council and the mayor's office a little bit more confidence that whatever they decide to do, they're going to be on pretty safe legal ground. The California Supreme Court said that if localities want to ban dispensaries, they can do that with their zoning laws, and by implication, if they want to do something else, for example, pass strict regulations about dispensaries, they can do that too. And that's what the city of San Diego has been looking at, getting strict regulations in place.
Okay, let's talk about the ban portion. Are you at all worried that cities now may just completely abandon any effort to regulate these pot shops, given that their attempts have resulted in pretty long, drawn-out litigation and costly litigation.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely that we're going to see localities looking to ban dispensaries after this decision, for the simple reason that most localities that want to have bans already have enacted them. Localities that don't want bans have something else in place, or like San Diego are kind of working towards getting something else in place. So I think that this decision kind of just reaffirms what's sort of the status quo, with the caveat that localities can breathe a little bit easier knowing that whatever they pass, whether it's a ban, whether it's a regulation, they're going to be on safer legal ground.
Alex, it seems like state and city officials are running around in circles here, that all of this time that's being spent on figuring out how to regulate these pot shops is all for naught, given what federal law says about marijuana. In fact, San Diego City Attorney Jan Goldsmith spoke to this issue yesterday. We have a clip from him.
There are federal decisions which we believe are clear that says that federal criminal laws on marijuana preempt state law. What does that mean? Even if you allow a dispensary, whether it be an industrial, retail, commercial, they can still get prosecuted under federal law because the possession, distribution, transportation of marijuana is a crime under federal law.
So, Alex, what is the point of the city going through all this trouble to figure this out when ultimately it's the feds who get to decide what's happened to these dispensaries and have shown quite clearly, especially in this region, that they will shut these dispensaries down?
Well, I think there's a distinction, in what Jan Goldsmith said. Federal law doesn't preempt state law in this area. Preemption is a really sort of specific technical term, and it means that the state or the local law would be null and void. And that's pretty clear in the courts that federal law doesn't actually preempt the state or local law. But it is equally clear, as Jan Goldsmith said accurately, that federal officials can prosecute individuals who violate federal law. So if you open up a dispensary, regardless of the legal status under state law or under local law, the federal government can go and prosecute people. The reality is, though, even though they have that power, they don't really have the resources to go after more than a small fraction of the dispensaries that are out there. And that's almost, I think, been one of the things that's been most odd about what the federal government has done. They've continued to go after, do raids, do prosecutions, and all the while there's still plenty of places operating in most parts of the state. In San Diego, the reason that we don't have anybody operating really is due to local law.
And there does seem to be some inconsistency from the federal level. You have had President Obama say that, he's got bigger fish to fry and he's not willing to expend a lot of resources in shutting these pot shops down. And then a year ago, there seems to have been a reversal. What is it going to take to get some clarity from the feds on this subject?
Well, I think there's a few things. I mean, one thing is getting people in office who support the president's policies. The U.S. Attorney here in San Diego, Laura Duffy, has independence, from what the president says. She's independently appointed and confirmed, and from what the Department of Justice says in D.C., she has her own independence, as U.S. Attorney here in San Diego. And so, you do kind of wonder why the president would appoint people to these positions who don't intend to follow the policy that they announce in D.C. So I think that's one thing, is getting folks who really believe in the president's position that has been stated to let states do what they want in this area.
And we've got to end it there. Alex Cricht, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We can vaccinate against diseases, but what about addiction? Scientists at Scripps Research Institute in La Jolla are trying to develop vaccines to do just that. In fact, a new study looks at a vaccine to prevent heroin from being absorbed in the brains of drug-addicted rats. KPBS science and technology reporter David Wagner joins us from the News Center. David, this isn't the first time scientists have worked on developing a heroin vaccine. What makes this study new?
Well, this is the first time that researchers were able to get some rats first addicted to heroin, then detox them, and then prove that the vaccinated rats actually lost interest in the drug. And it's the first vaccine that goes after heroin in all its forms, because once the drug enters the bloodstream, it breaks down into a whole bunch of other molecules, and previous vaccines have had a hard time bonding to all those moving targets.
So what's the next step for this vaccine? Will it be used eventually for human treatment?
Well, the researchers say that the vaccine is ready for human clinical trials, but it won't be easy for them to find the funding needed to stage those trials. And even if they do, it's hard to get vaccines like this approved by the FDA. The lab behind this new study has been investigating other addiction vaccines for drugs like cocaine and nicotine since the mid-90s, yet none of them have been put on the market yet. However, with studies like the one we're talking about today, they're certainly making progress.
KPBS science and technology reporter David Wagner. There's a major move underway to change how schools across California get funded. Amitha Sharma is looking at what's at stake for students in San Diego County.
School officials across the state and in San Diego County are at odds over Governor Brown's plan to revamp how K-12 schools get state money. Joining me to talk about what the new funding formula means for this region is Laura Duzick, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services for the San Diego County Office of Education. Superintendent Duzick, the governor's plan calls for a different formula whereby extra funding is going to schools with higher populations of children who come from low-income families and for whom English is a second language. Explain why this is necessary.
The governor feels in his plan, and actually the Senate plan also concurs, that these populations have other issues that take additional resources to assist them in closing the achievement gap for those particular populations of students. And we have lots of districts that have heavy populations in this area, and so they need extra funding. And that's not a different concept than what happens now. We have categorical funds that target these particular populations because it's well recognized that they do need additional resources.
So tell me, which school districts in San Diego County stand to receive some of the additional funding?
Well, the additional funding comes in the supplemental and concentration grants if you're looking at the governor's plan. And so the districts that you would expect would be the ones that would get those additional funds, and those would be the areas where there are high concentrations of English language learners and or the economically disadvantaged. And so those would be areas like San Ysidro, South Bay, National School District, the areas where you can expect that there would be large populations that have those kinds of communities that would need those extra resources.
Now, there are officials from school districts within this county who have expressed concerns. I believe the superintendent in Poway has said that he would like to see state funding restored to pre-recession levels back to 2007, 2008 for school districts before there's any kind of recalculation in funding. How likely is that to happen?
Well, you know, the money's here now, and the governor's concepts are generally well received, and polls really show that the people in the communities as a whole and across the state and even the legislature agree conceptually to the change in the funding formula. And the formula that the governor's proposing and the way he's proposing to spend the money would give, at least we have the word from the governor, so everybody would get a little something. And as they start building towards his target, he shifts the focus from all these categorical funds into a model where districts can choose. They can run the same programs as they always have, but they can choose, and the decision making is done at the local level.
So it is important to point out, as you just did, that all school districts will be receiving additional funding. Nonetheless, there does appear to be these concerns that remain. State Senator Marty Block is proposing a scaled-back version. Governor Brown says he's going to push hard for his plan and says that he's in for, or everyone's in for the battle of their lives. Are you at all concerned about divisiveness over this?
I really am not, because when you look at the senator's bill, SB 69, I believe, the concept, the governor's concept is there. They're supportive of that concept. A lot of the issues that they bring up are areas where we don't have a lot of detail from the governor, like in the area of accountability and what does that look like. And if you're getting all this money for these targeted populations, how are we validating that you're spending them on those populations and that you're in fact enhancing program for them rather than supplanting? So the Senate bill brings up a lot of good questions that the governor, I suspect that between the governor and the legislature, they will come to some agreement in some of those areas. It also contemplates delaying it a year. I don't think that the governor would necessarily go for that. He has the money now. He wants to get it rolling, and I don't really see a compelling reason not to.
How long do you think it will take before the school districts that do receive the extra money will start seeing performance results in these students?
You know, they measure performance every year. And so if they're going to put in some additional new accountability standards, they either have to have a way to measure it against their current levels, or they need to establish a baseline. And those accountability measures have not been identified if there are to be additional ones. So, but they do have the normal accountability measures that they have now that they could certainly look to see if a certain district and in their subgroups they're making progress or they're not.
And Superintendent Dusick, we're going to have to wrap it up there.
Okay.
Thank you for speaking to us today.
Thank you.
I'm Ray Suarez. On the next News Hour, we continue our look at new ways to engage students to learn science and solve problems. That's Tuesday on the PBS News Hour.
The final months of high school are meant to be a special time for seniors, but traditions like graduation, yearbook, and prom can take a toll on family budgets. KPBS reporter Claire Trageser tells us about a group making one tradition a little less expensive.
Sequoia Booker's prom plans are a little complicated.
I'm going to go to my friend's prom, and then I'm going to invite another friend to go with me because she goes to charters, so she doesn't really have prom, and I want her to have that experience too.
Got that? It sounds intricate to me, but Sequoia isn't sweating it.
It's not that hard.
Harder is Sequoia's family situation.
Well, there's 6 of us, and then it's just my mom. My dad lives in Chicago, so it's my mom, and she has, rent and all these other things to pay, and then plus senior years come, and I have to buy my cap and gown, have to buy yearbooks, and all these other things, so it's eating away her pockets.
End-of-the-year rituals take on a new meaning for students who have overcome challenges just to graduate high school, but they also bring lots of added costs. One of those big expenses is prom dresses. With the average cost of prom at more than $1,000, attending the dance can seriously hurt a family's bank account. Prom dress donation groups across the country work to help cushion the blow. The Princess Project first started in San Francisco and came to San Diego 5 years ago. It collects donated formal dresses and gives them out to high school seniors like Sequoia for free.
This is just a plain little black dress, yeah.
She plans to spend about $200 at prom for things like a ticket and dinner beforehand. But she says wearing a donated dress makes the whole event a lot more affordable.
It would just probably take a little longer, more saving up, and it would just be a longer, harder process.
Girls don't have to prove they come from low-income families to get a dress. But foster homes, homeless shelters, teachers, or guidance counselors usually recommend them. Jennifer Gaston is the chair of the San Diego chapter. She says giving out prom dresses is an easy way to help students.
Isn't that awesome? It's a little dress.
That is a very princess dress.
Prom is definitely a kind of a coming out ceremony in America, and I think once they have a dress and they really feel beautiful and they feel more like a woman, then you kind of see them stand up straighter and pull their shoulders back and really kind of sink into, yeah, I am beautiful, and yeah, I am growing up.
Ooh, it's cute.
The experience is designed to mimic real dress shopping. That's usually a memorable time for girls attending prom.
Talia, you look gorgeous, girl. So pretty. And as they're trying on dresses, we're really, really, really positive about just making them feel beautiful, making them feel comfortable. telling them how special they look and how amazing the colors are on them and all of that. It's a real big confidence booster, even though it's that little snapshot of time.
One windy late afternoon, Sequoia walks to the Princess Project store in the Horton Plaza Mall with 3 of her good friends.
Girls, come on in!
All of the girls are serious students with college in their futures, but they are slightly giddy as they wait to try on dresses. Volunteers measure the girls and help them look for dresses.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's the third one.
Although this is often a mother-daughter tradition, most girls are alone.
Well, what about this one?
Only Sequoia has her mother as company. Sequoia's friend Karen, who will be her prom date, finds her dress first.
This is gorgeous.
Then she finds another, and another, and another. One girl after another waltzes out of the dressing room in a dress she loves. Only Sequoia is left looking.
Is this the one, or are we still looking?
Finally, Sequoia's volunteer brings her a bright blue sparkly dress. It seems to be the one.
You like it? I like it.
To complete the full princess experience, the girls also get to pick out a piece of jewelry and get their makeup done. Their spirits are high by the time they're done, and Karen says now she's definitely ready for prom.
Totally. I'm like ready to go now. Like if I could go today, I would totally go today.
It might seem silly to focus a charity on a dress these girls will likely only wear once, but Sequoia says it's not just about the dress.
It's part of growing up, I feel like. It's just another experience where you're able to just, like I said, like look back and be like, wow, I've come this far and I'm going to graduate, and it's just another celebration just for seniors to say you did it, you know, and you get to look back and have it with your friends, and it's just a fun night for everybody.
That's pretty.
Really coming on you.
Claire Tregesser, KPBS News.
Well, it looks like the rain is moving on. The forecast calls for some clouds over the next few days. Temperatures will start warming up as we head towards the weekend. Partly cloudy in the mountains for the next few days. Desert temperatures will be back in the 90s by Friday. You can find tonight's stories and download the KPBS app all on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.